All right, so welcome to another fast review, and where I give you a no bullshit review because Plugin Boutique doesn't own me. So today we're going to talk about Beatformer from Accusonus, same company that made Regroover. So this is Beatformer. It's essentially a transient designer. That's what it is. It will just, of course, you can use it on your kicks, your snares, but you can use it on top of whatever you want. But of course, it works best on percussive elements. So of course, we have the interface right here. Let me just show you the controls you get because they're pretty cool. So you're gonna get an input and an output, so you control the input signal and the output signal, but you also get a limiter. So if you go over the top, this is just gonna control everything a little bit more. Then you get the punch control. This will react on the transient, so you will enhance the attack or you can reduce the attack. Pretty simple. Again, just a transient designer. Then you get the air control. This is going to go to the higher frequencies and it's going to boost the higher frequencies. And with high split, you can select when this boost will, start happening. Pretty cool. Then of course, you get the boom control. And this one, what it will do, it will go to the lower frequencies of your sound and it will just add saturation. So since when we add saturation, we add harmonics to the sound. What you get right here is an option, so you can select where all of this is going to happen. So if your kick is an A, you can go directly to the A and enhance that with a boom. So again, pretty nice idea. Then of course you're going to get the squash, and this one is just to compress everything. Of course, if you go to the left, you're going to make everything less squashed, and you can see the drawings right here on top of the controls, around the control. And right here you get this, like this drawing, and it says that everything is like a bit more spaced, and to the right, everything is a bit more squashed. Okay, so I've got a nice kick track on a song that it's not ready yet, but that's okay. I've disabled all the processing on this track, on this kick. I'm gonna go and do play from here. So just a very raw kick. So of course, for the first control, it's gonna be the punch. This is gonna add an attack to the transients. So if I gonna boost it, everything is like more punchy. And if I go all the way to the other side, it's just reducing the punch. So as you can see on the frequency spectrum right here, we get the punch right here. This one will react on top of this. So of course, if we boost this, you can see it right here on the frequencies because we get a little bit more of this and less of this. Now, if I go all the way to the other side, it's just removing all of this and we can hear only this part of the kick. All right. So then, of course, you get the air, and the air is going to react in this area. If I boost everything, notice that it's boosting this frequencies right here. All the way to the left is going to, of course, do the opposite. It's just going to do a nice cut. And the high split, of course, you can go and select when the cutting or the boosting starts. Let me just do a boost so we can actually see it right here. Let me go crazy and go to 10K. So it happens more right here. So, all right, okay. So far it's just doing what it's promising, what Beatformer promised that it will do. Then we get the boom control. Let me do play again. I'm gonna go and boom. And notice that how this part of the kick, which is the transient, goes crazy. Now the song, the kick, everything else is on A. So right here, if I select A, it's gonna react in that section. But notice that again, if I add saturation, everything gets increased. And you get that effect, you get that boom, which is what you want if you're looking for that. It's pretty nice. So far, it's just, it's just doing the trick. Then, of course, you get the squash. And this is like the compress part of the plugin. So if I do play and it starts squashing everything, we can clearly hear that. Notice that how everything is just, squashed. If I go all the way to the outside, we get the opposite effect. Everything sounds much clearer because everything is like separated. Right, of course, what you get right here is the ability to do left side, mid side, stereo and mid side processing with the punch and the air. I found that it's not very usable. I wouldn't say it's just, it doesn't work, but I just would like a little bit more control because it's we can not even hear it. It's pretty useless, but everything else works pretty darn good. Pretty darn good. Now, if I go and play and boost the input, you're gonna see the limiting, just limiting everything, and it works nice. I'm gonna go and boost it. You're gonna see this the output going crazy, but it will just not go crazy. Right here, I'm already on picking, but it will just not go. So the limiter will do its job. All right, so let's test the plugin and context because just hearing the kick alone, it doesn't say much. So I'm gonna play a song that of course is not finished. It's pretty raw, but we can hear the effect of the kick and the plugin. So I'm gonna go and play it. Let's do a little bit of punch. It really cuts to the mix, through the mix. Let me do the opposite effect because maybe it's too punchy. Gonna like it there. Let's do a little bit of air. Let's see if it does something right here. Yeah, it's just adding a little bit more clarity. Now I've boosted the volume of the kick so we can exaggerate this so we can really listen what the plugin is doing. Let's squash. I'm gonna go and play it. I'm gonna do a little bit of air. I'm gonna squash it. Of course, you can do a little bit of more output if you wish. Let's do the opposite. All right, let's do boom. Let's see what happens. Whoa. Okay, so I've placed this on top of a snare. The snare, of course, is I've disabled everything, so it's very raw. It sounds like crap right now without the processing. Okay, so I'm gonna go and just set everything to default right now. So okay, of course, what happens if we add a little bit of punch? Remember, the punch will react on this area right after the transient. So we get a lot of punch. That's nice. Maybe it's too punchy. I'm gonna go and remove it. Remove the punch just a little bit. A little bit of air. We can already have air, but just gonna accentuate everything. A little bit of squash. Let's squash everything. It's already different. A little bit of boom. All right. So in context. Now, of course, since we are just doing a lot of the squash and everything else, we get an increase in volume, so we can go and roll this off. Without, distant, in your face. All right, so if you ask me, this works pretty good. It just does what it's supposed to. Of course, you can get other transient designers for maybe the same amount of money or maybe less money. I believe this one is good. It's just good. It works okay. Of course, if you go right here at the top, you get some presets that you can select and just start with this one. So I believe it's just very good. And of course, you can change the size of the interface. This is kind of a stupid big, but maybe a little bit less. So, I believe it's just a nice plugin. So let me do a pros and a con. I'm going to tell you what I didn't like about this. All right, so the pros. It's easy to use, of course, just 4 or 5 knobs, and it's just changing the sound. It's very transparent. It will not color your sound. It's just not adding that super colored saturation, which is good, which is what you want from a transient designer. You get the tunable sub bass. This is pretty unique. Cannot remember, maybe if I've seen this on different plugins that does this, which is pretty cool, pretty good idea, very creative, awesome feature. Sometimes, and this is the best feature, I believe this one is like $50, maybe a little bit more, 70, 80 bucks, something like that. I don't remember right now. Let me just double check. Oh, okay. So the price is 99 bucks. Okay, so I'm gonna add this to the cons. I wouldn't say this is nice. 99 bucks is like too much money for a very simple plugin that does just one thing. I wouldn't buy it for 99 bucks. So don't do it, right? It's too much money for just this simple plugin. Now, is it a good plugin? Yes, it is good, but not for 99 bucks. Now, I get this plugin with a pack with a discount. So that's, a pro. Sometimes, maybe 4 or 5 times a year, they will just throw a discount on this ones. And I got it with discount. Bought it with this and Regroover, I believe, if I remember correctly. And I end up paying this for this plugin 50 bucks or a little bit less. So was pretty cheap. And it's good. If you buy it if you can get it for 50 bucks or a little bit less, that's a good deal. More than 50 bucks, I don't know. 99 bucks? No, man, too expensive. I'm sorry. So I'm going to add that to the cons. 99 bucks, it's just too expensive for what it is. And the other thing I really didn't like about this is the mid-side controls that we get right here. They just makes almost no difference. And we cannot tweak it. It's just almost unusable. All right, so the conclusion is, should you get it? Yeah, of course, if the price is right.